Hi, okay, this is the tutorial for the square knot macrame bracelet, and I'll show you what you need. Scissors, your twine or your hemp. You can also use the silky cord. You're going to need a piece of cardboard like this with a little piece of masking tape at the bottom and a slit cut in the top. And then I've labeled it 1, 2, 3, and 4 because you're going to have 4 different cords. So you don't have to write that on yours though. And you're going to need some kind of a closure like a button or a bead like this with a fairly large hole in it. Okay, so for the center cords, which will not show very much, you take some cording and measure your hand. Wrap it around your hand, your arm, your wrist like that, and go to about, wrap it around and give it a generous amount. Hold your finger on it and then double it. So that's about doubling it. I'll cut it off right there. Then you're going to take the looped end and make a little knot in it. Just wrap it around your finger one time and put it through the hole and pull it. And you want to measure this loop so that your button or your bead can go through there with a little bit of effort. So make it a little tight. You can, at the end when we're taking it off and making it fit, you can kind of adjust this a little bit. Okay, so that loop end is going to go into this little slit right up here. So pull it down through the slit. Hard to do backwards. Pull it down through the slit like that. And now you've got something to kind of pull against. And then I also like to loosely tape it at the bottom. And you want to tape it loosely so that you can get up under here. Okay, just loosely tape that at the bottom. Okay, so now for my cords 1 and 4, I'm going to use 2 different colors because I want you to be able to really see what I'm doing. And I'm going to use this kind of blue for one side and this purple for the other. So I want you to measure out at least 4 feet. So 3 feet is when you stretch your arm all the way out and hold it to the tip of your nose. So grab it there and then pull out a little bit more, about that much more, and cut it. To the end of my arm, 3 feet, stretched all the way out on my nose, and then about this much more is 4 feet. Okay, so now I have my 2 different colors. Okay, there's a couple different ways to get started. I think the easiest way is just have you take the 2 cords, cord 1 and cord 4, and just knot them like you would knot your shoelaces. So twist it and then twist it again, pull it real tight, and make a nice tight knot. And then put that underneath and you can even take a piece of tape and tape it. So I'm just going to tape this right up here as close to the top as I can. That was cord 2. Cords 2 and cords 3 are just your inside cords that run down the middle. This is cord 2, this is cord 3, cord 1, cord 4. Okay, so now we're ready to go. With the basic square knot, you alternate back and forth doing this pattern. So we're going to start on the left side. You're going to take cord 1 and make it into, some people call it a letter 4 because it looks kind of like a 4. I like to call it, remember Snoopy from the Peanuts characters? That looks like Snoopy's nose. So I put put it over top loosely, make this kind of long oval shape over top of cords 2 and 3. Then I need to lift cord 4 and go up over top of cord 1. Okay, so once you have it looking like kind of a letter 4 or Snoopy's nose going like that with cord 4, the purple one, going over top, then you're going to hold on to that, take cord 4 and go under your center cords and out and through Snoopy's nose. Okay, then grab each one of them, each side, and pull it up evenly and tightly. Okay, now you're going to do that on the right, this side. That's my right. And so you're always going to be doing Snoopy's nose with the blue cord in this square knot. So we go over top of the center cords, cords 2 and 3. Then we bring cord 1 over top. Make sure it's coming over top of cord 4. Then lift up your center cords, go up and through and out Snoopy's nose, and pull them up. Now you're starting to get this kind of square knot look. It should look like that. So always with the blue cord, we're back to this side. Over top of your center cords, bring cord 4 over top of the blue cord and up and out and through Snoopy's nose. Pull it tight. Now you're over on this side. Bring it across the center cords. Make that Snoopy's nose. Put the purple cord over top of the blue cord. Lift up the center cords, up and out Snoopy's nose, and pull them up tight. Okay, so you're just going to keep repeating that pattern, going back and forth, only making Snoopy's nose with the blue cord. So I redid the center cord and made them longer. I think I made them like 20, measured it out, about 24 inches, folded it over, and looped it on the back just like I did before. And so now I'm into the point where I'm going to show you how to put a bead into the center. So if you didn't want to have a bead, you just keep going with your pattern like I showed you, always making Snoopy's nose with this blue one. But I'm going to try to figure out how to make this bead come halfway into my knitted or my knotted area. So when I made it before, it was too small on me. So I'm going to go with the measurement of about 7.5 inches. And I kind of wrote on here, this will be where my bead goes. And so my knotting pattern is going to go from here to here. So the center of it is right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and do my knotting up until there, and then I'll put the bead on. So now I'm ready to put my bead on. And one thing you have to make sure is that it's really a good idea if you can fit 2 of the cords through there. I don't think it would look as good as if you could only fit one thickness of cord. So I'm going to put both cords through there. Now you could also, if you had a really large bead or a really large hole, put all 4 of your cords through the hole. But this is kind of one way to do it. So you're just going to put the center cord through there, tape it back down, and now you're really just kind of going around the bead, circling around it, and then knotting again. Okay, I'm going to take it off and try it on. I know I'm running out of cord, but let's see how close I got to making it fit me and making the bead in the middle. I needed a lot more cording. So one of the things you can do is stretch it down, and it just has a different look when you do that. So if you don't mind it stretched down, oops. This knotting should always be right up close to, pretty close to that. Okay, so I didn't quite, I didn't have enough cording. I've used this cord over again from starting over, but I didn't have quite enough cording. So one of the nice things about this pattern, this knot, square knot, is you can scrunch it up shorter, or you can pull it down and make it cover more space. You can kind of, you know, correct some of your measuring problems. So yeah, I didn't get it quite in the middle of my knotting, but I think it's good enough for these purposes. Probably I should have taken it off and tried it on. And when you try it on, if you just kind of bring it around and see if you've gotten about halfway around your wrist. So I went ahead and put my bead on that is going to be part of the closure, and then knotted it. Now, if you don't have a bead that's got a large enough hole for the 2 center cords to go through, you can do it with just one. I would put the one through there, leave a long tail, and then back here where the other one you didn't have it going through, I would just knot it to the 2 of them and then put some super glue. You're going to need super glue. I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning. And you're going to put super glue on the beginning where you tied on. Put enough super glue on so you make sure it's not going to come undone. And then I'm going to cut those off real short. So let me just do that now and show you. Super glue doesn't take long to dry. Just put a nice amount all over the knot so it won't back itself out. There on that one. And then on this one where I ended. Keeps it from fraying and coming out. And I'm working in this silky stuff, so it won't be nearly as much to put on the hemp cording. And then you could put some right here on this knot. I don't think it's really in danger of coming out because you're going to leave all of that tail. And I'll show you why. So let this dry a second or two before you cut your strings off. But here's why you want to leave a tail on the end. So I take this when I'm putting it on myself and I go through the loop, pull on it, and get the bead to go through there. And that's why you have to fuss with it a little to make sure that the loop end is just big enough for the bead to go through it. And then I usually, when I put it on, it's a little snug on me and it will stretch out, especially the hemp cord. If you're going to wear it and get it a little wet while you're washing dishes and things, it gets really stretched out. So yeah, I usually pull on it to make sure that bead can't back out of there very easily. And if it does, then just shorten the loop a little by moving the knot. Okay, so now I'm ready to cut off the little blue and purple ends real short. Cut them way down, very edge where the glue is. Okay, and there is your square knot bracelet with a bead in the middle. Not quite even.